Hi, this is Dr. Greene, founder and CEO of My Pain Consultant. Today's topic is another in the Best Practice series, converting prospects into patients. Believe it or not, your practice is a business. It has a top line, a bottom line, and a lot of stuff in between. No one cares about your business like you do, right? But you're only one person. So most people work best when they're incentivized, and that requires statistics and rewards. So remember that, because if it's time for lunch, most people are not going to stick around to schedule that next, new patient unless they're incentivized. Competition in most markets in this country for pain management is fierce. You need every edge possible, and we're going to talk about those. So where do your prospects come from? Well, a lot of them come from referrals, whether it's primary care doctors, attorneys, caseworkers. Those we'll talk about as A leads, okay? Bounce backs, patients who maybe have gotten better and then their sciatica came back or what have you. If they're happy with the treatment that they got and you're still top of the mind, then they'll call you to schedule again. Word of mouth, you can work those internally. There are legally rewards you can offer to patients who refer in their friends and family, and those have really already been sold, so to speak. Those are great. And then there's your marketing efforts externally, such as social media, pay-per-click, blogging, press releases, things like that. Here's a hot tip. Sending out a monthly education-based email will make your practice top of the mind. And for an inexpensive marketing medium, you will see an excellent ROI. Okay? Now, I divide prospects for your pain practice into A leads and B leads. C leads I've left off of this for brevity. But the A leads are the one we just talked about that are basically pre-sold. They're either word-of-mouth referrals or referrals from PCPs or attorneys who already have the problem. They've already been told that you guys are great, and they're ready to be scheduled. All right. B leads are going to take up the bulk of your intake staff's time, going through the script, getting them scheduled after they've been, sold, so to speak, on your services. So scheduling is the easy part on the A leads. Getting them to show up, though, can be a challenge. So you need to implement several methods, which may include text, reminders, phone calls. That can be personal phone calls or robocalls, and then email reminders as well. You could send a new patient registration packet after they got up on the schedule. Another hot tip is to send the patient notes out with your marketer to thank your referral sources. I learned this years ago. It works remarkably well because a lot of people just send them in the mail. But if you take them out, if your marketer takes them in, first of all, it's a great way as an excuse to get in the door, but then they really appreciate it, okay? Now, the B leads are the ones that really need to be sold, and scripting is key, and you're going to need more than one script because there's more than, one type of service that you offer. As Jennifer Garner once said, you stick to the script is Bible, okay? The reason I say there's more than one script because someone may be calling for one of the cash-based services that you offer, such as regenerative medicine, or they may be calling because it's an insurance-based service they're seeking. They're moving into the area or changing insurance. So you should have a script that will have some similarities, but it is different between those. So what you're going to want to do is your staff will follow the same process every time, no matter how the prospect starts the conversation. So if they start the conversation at chapter 1, that's great. If they start the conversation at chapter 7, still you have to reel it back to chapter 1 and follow the script every time. Because what you'll find is that your close rate is going to be very high if you follow that same process every time. If you say, oh, they're already at, quote, chapter 7, I'm just going to follow down the little bit and get them scheduled, you'll find that you'll lose them frequently. Remember, people don't care about you. They don't care about your product or service as much as what it does for their needs and wants. They are the center of the story and all that matters. So the process is a controlled experience. It's the same every time. All right. There are 3 steps involved. The first is BRT. That's build relationship and trust. And this involves things such as, small talk, pumping them up, asking about them. The second step is to find the need. What is it that is bothering them and how is it affecting their life? Okay? And then the third step is to recap and then give the, quote, expert recommendation. Now, I understand your staff are not MDs or nurses, but they have the script. Okay? A hot tip is to teach your staff the basics of pain management and the services that you offer. Maybe have them watch some of the procedures that you do, give them some lectures over lunchtime, go over some recorded phone calls with them, do an audit once in a while, and give them some positive constructive criticism to help them do better. So the biggest problems that we see over the years is that the phone is either not answered or patients are on hold too long. Okay? Big negatives. Could be that the wait time is too long for an appointment. That may mean that you need more staff, more mid-levels, what have you. A big problem that we see time and time again is rude staff. Whether they realize it or not, they just come off as rude, and it's a huge turnoff, obviously. Another one is when we work with practices that referrals are required for all new patients. Now think about this. If you're on Medicare, which is in all, end results a PPO, you don't need a referral to go see a specialist, why would you require a referral for that? Or if they have a great PPO, you're just putting up a new barrier. I realize there's some, malpractice types of reasons to try and put up that barrier to get the referral, but it's going to cause you to lose a lot of prospects. If the call back takes too long, meaning when you get a voicemail or a contact form or a live chat, if you don't call them back for 24, 48, 72 hours, you're going to lose them. Studies show that 75% of prospects, if they don't get somebody on the phone, they just go down the list. All right? You might think that your practice is uber duper special, but at the end of the day, people just want to get treatment. And a lot of that is who takes the call and treats them properly. A hot tip is that all of these problems that are on this slide are fixable, and they're in your control. Unhappy customers are 11 times more likely to tell people about it than those who are happy. It's just the way it is. So the term that I like to use with how to treat new prospects is utility. All right, that's from Jay Bayer, and his book is Why Smart Marketing is About Help and Not Hype. You want to rise above your competition by being useful. Okay, don't just hype up your practice. Find out what it is that the prospect needs and wants, and offer a consultative approach, which includes education. It may, I realize your staff aren't nurses or doctors, but your website could have a lot of educational videos and articles that they refer to, and that can be part of the script. So your website is something that prospective patients will subliminally equate with your practice quality. I realize the two don't, necessarily go hand in hand, but in a prospective patient's mind, unfortunately they do, okay? So you should have an aesthetic, functional website that is good not only for prospective new patients, but your existing patients, all right? And if you have an online library, it can be amazingly effective. So even if you have like 1 to 2 doctors in your practice, you can look huge with a great web presence. In conclusion, one thing you definitely want to do is incentivize your staff. The vast majority of Americans work much better when there's some incentive when they do well. You want to separate your leads into A versus B. You want to have different scripts, okay? You also want to have different scripts for different services, meaning cash-based versus insurance-based. You want to fix the controllable issues that you encounter, and you want to coach your staff. It matters to them that you care, and it's going to help increase the conversions when you coach them. Everything is a controlled experience. Okay, you want them to go through the same process every time, as mentioned. Remember, it's all about satisfying the prospect's needs and wants and providing help and not hype. So I'm Dr. David Greene. I'm the founder and CEO of My Pain Consultant. I've practiced, owned a practice, worked with practices for the last 5 years. I wrote a book, Healthcare Internet Marketing, the ultimate guide for all medical and dental providers and practices. I basically help practices fix problems, beat the competition, and become leaders in their geographical area in pain management. That's what I did, and that's my goal for you. I offer a free 30-minute consultation. Please call me at 877-927-7525. And there's a lot of info on my website, mypainconsultant.com. I have a team of individuals who are leaders in their fields, MDJDs, feet on the street marketers. I own a web company as well. So we have all the resources to help you, as I mentioned, become a leader in your field and not make a lot of the mistakes that I've seen and had happen to me, so I can help you avoid those. Thank you very much. Appreciate you watching.